I'd like to call up Dr. Genevieve Clavral. She's held item 25. Eric Previn, who's held item 10, 11, 12, 15, CS2, and 25.
Thank you. It's Eric Previn from the 3rd District. Item 25 and 29 are being held by supervisors, so I will not address those until after the supervisors ask the questions, if that's okay. So, item 18, I was just having a little conversation with the great Inspector General, Max Huntsman, about the body cams. And it's exciting that the county wants to go in that direction, but I asked the WICM for a look at the policies. Apparently there were some policy reviews earlier that were of note. I have not been able to get those. People support the idea of body cams, but the rules have to be very specific. At LAPD, they have been very unfavorable about making rules that are open and reasonable for the public, so that's a problem. We take great interest in the sheriff, and maybe the sheriff and the LAPD could work together on one set of policies, because it makes no sense to have two sets of policies in one big city and county. And they should be the right kind of policies that meet the muster of the public, so I would appreciate that. Item number 26 rather is the item is going back to the department. And I wanted to just say goodbye to the item briefly. It's thanking Van Air for the $6 million bid that beat out Cumming to do the ISD's cleanup work for $6 million over at 600 Commonwealth, which is a property we rent from Jameson Group. Now, I don't understand why it's being sent back to the ISD. I was asking about, was there any controversy? Doesn't seem to be any controversy. So what is going on? And it would just be helpful to have a clear sense of that, as it is a tremendous amount of authority to a group like Vanner, who did such a good job for the supervisors at touting the need, which nobody in the public felt was necessary, of a giant incarcerator at the with the help of AECOM, who Vanair and AECOM alternate back and forth between getting kudos and chased around by this group. Item number CS2 today is a closed session item, but CS3, I couldn't get my mind around why the Rutherford case, this is Rutherford versus Sherman Block, can simply plop onto the board's agenda when this is such an old case. This is from like forever. So is this just a license to talk about difficulties in the jail? Because is that case active at this point? I mean, there were certain very primitive oversight pieces that were put in place alongside that case. So who knows what's going on there. Item number 10, I would just ask the great 5th District Supervisor to look a little harder. John Vandercook's a great guy, but if he had a city contract with the South Pasadena office during this time, that's why those rules are in place, sir. That's called a little bit of a conflict, and I know that he probably has nothing, but there are a lot of people. You're leaving town. I'm sure Barger could find someone who would do as good a job, if not better. And finally, we have to say thank you to the Inspector General, who has taken a look at what I know a lot of residents were worried about, which is how we train deputies and how long that probation period could be. This is an exhaustive report on such a interesting subject, but we need an exhaustive report on many of the subjects that have been brought forward, and we would appreciate that. So thank you.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors, Dr. Genevieve Clavral. You asked me for item 25, but you held item 25.
We released it, yes.
So you wanted to, well, we don't have any specific, the item said we are extending the term to June 30th, 2017, but there's no indication of the cost application to it and so on. And again, we are dealing with MLK